Why did the Soviet Union build a rocket that just kept blowing up? This is the story of the N-1, the world's largest rocket, designed to put a cosmonaut on the moon, but remembered as the biggest engineering failure of the space race. In the early 1960s, after Gagarin's flight, the USSR led the space race. But when John F. Kennedy announced America's plan to land on the moon, Moscow scrambled to respond. Their answer was the N-1 launch vehicle. The N-1 was a monster. 105 meters tall, 17 meters wide, weighing nearly 2,700 tons. Its first stage carried 30 engines, producing 4,600 tons of thrust, slightly more than the Saturn V. But unlike the American rocket, which used 5 powerful F-1 engines, the Soviets had to cluster many smaller ones. That decision would haunt the program. The first problem was leadership. The legendary rocket designer Sergei Korolev, who might have made it work, died in 1966 during surgery. His successors, Vasily Mishin, Valentin Glushko and others, spent more time fighting than cooperating. The Soviet system forced rival design bureaus to compete for resources, instead of collaborating like NASA. Still, the Kremlin wanted results. Billions of rubles poured into the N-1 project, under enormous pressure to beat Apollo. Testing was rushed. No prototype stage was ever fully test-fired on the ground. In secret, Baikonur prepared for launches. And then came the disasters. Launch 1, February 1969. The N-1 roared to life, but seconds later engines shut down. The rocket staggered into the sky before collapsing and destroying itself. The cause, debris sucked into fuel pumps. Launch 2, July 1969. Just 2 weeks before Apollo 11 landed on the moon, the Soviets tried again. This time the rocket lifted higher, about 180,000 feet, before a fire in the first stage forced all engines to shut down. The N-1 fell back onto the Kazakh steppe, scattering wreckage across kilometers. Launch 3, June 1971. Another attempt, another disaster. This time, a turbopump explosion blew the rocket apart seconds after takeoff. Launch 4, November 1972, the most catastrophic of all. The rocket barely cleared the tower before a faulty engine shut down. Instead of aborting, the control system ordered the other engines to throttle up. The result was a colossal explosion, one of the largest non-nuclear blasts in history, which destroyed much of the launch pad at Baikonur. 4 launches, 4 failures, 0 successes. Each attempt cost the equivalent of billions of dollars in today's money. The N-1 never once reached orbit. Meanwhile, the Americans landed Apollo 11 on the moon. By 1974, the Kremlin had seen enough. The project was cancelled quietly, the failures classified as state secrets. For decades, the Soviet public didn't even know the N-1 existed. Today, all that remains are abandoned rocket hulks at Baikonur and museum models. What was supposed to carry Soviet cosmonauts to the lunar surface instead became a cautionary tale of secrecy, politics, and engineering shortcuts. The N-1 wasn't just a rocket that kept blowing up. It was the collapse of the Soviet dream to win the space race.